Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel all about BA. This session is quickly going to be how to add additional columns to the incoming source columns. Okay, for example, you have a source file, you have a destination file in which you have to copy the records of the source file, but before copying, right, we have to add some additional columns. Okay, additional columns to the incoming columns. That is what we are going to see how to do today. Okay, there are two ways for which using which we can copy the records, right, in Azure Data Factory. One is using data flow task or activity, and then second is copy activity. Okay, if you use data flow activity, right, we can use derived column transformation. Alright, but when you use a copy activity, how to add additional columns, that is what I am going to tell in today's session. Okay, but what is the need for us to look into this? Sometimes we'll have set of columns coming from source, and we'll have to add our own derived columns in between, okay, before copying the data to destination file or destination table. Okay, for example, we might want to add some file path or current timestamp or any flag. It can be anything, or any static or dynamic value. Okay, but those values will not be coming from the source file. Okay, if that is the case, how we are going to handle the additional columns, that is what we are going to see. Okay, for that I'm going to point to this particular source file wherein we have three columns. One is serial number, source table, and destination table, and I'm going to use a copy activity to copy the records from this particular file to another file in blob storage path. Okay, but before copying, I'm going to add one more column in between, which is called current timestamp column. Okay, let me show you how to do that. There is a copy activity. I'm going to point to my lookup file. Let us quickly see the data which is present there in the file. Okay, we have a serial number, source table, destination table, followed by two columns, two records. Okay, so we are going to write these records to a destination file. Okay, but before that, we have to add one more column called timestamp column. Okay, that how we can do is just use the additional column options here. So when you hover over it, right, it will tell add additional data columns to store source file's relative path or static value. Okay, basically it can be anything. You can have a hard-coded value for a particular column, or you can derive some expressions in runtime. You can do anything like that. Okay, so in our case, I'm going to add current timestamp, or we can say last modified date. Okay, so in value we have to point to the UTC now function. Okay, just search for the function here, UTC now. So this is going to give you the current timestamp. Okay, so I'm finishing it. So that's all. So we have added the additional columns here. Okay, I'll just go to sync and say which is my sync. Okay, so into this particular data set, I have to give what is the file name. Okay, test additional columns. I can give anything like this. Okay, .csv. Okay, there is one more. That's all with respect to source and sync settings. There is one more tab called mapping here. Okay, by default there will not be any schema available. Okay, so if I run this pipeline now, it's going to copy my records from the lookup file to one more file in the blob storage path with one additional column. Okay, let me publish the changes and show you. Alternatively, what we can do is we can import the schemas also. Okay, that I will show you a little bit later after executing this particular pipeline with the current settings. Okay, without any mapping. So let's see how it's going to work out. Publish is done. So I'm just running the pipeline. So let's keep refreshing the blob storage path, so that we can verify whether the records are copied with the additional column value. Test additional columns.csv. So when you click on the edit option, right, you can see the records from the source file. These three columns are from the source file, and this particular column is from the additional column. Okay, the time is today's date is 10/16 October 16, and this is all in UTC time. Okay, if you want to convert it into any other format, we can do it. Okay, so just I wanted to point out how we add additional columns in the source and to copy it to a file. Okay, this is one thing. And if we want to do some manipulations with respect to the data type, okay, for example, you have a set of columns in source. As I showed you, we have serial number, we have source table and destination table columns, okay, in our source. But see, after we have added the additional column, it is appearing in the preview also. So by this way also you can verify whether the additional column that you have added is going to work or not. Okay, so this is how it shows up, the additional columns. Okay, so assume we have to convert this particular column into integer and this particular column into date, okay, before loading it into the file. So what we can do is we can go to mapping, and then when you say import schemas, it's going to import the source columns along with the additional column, and then it is going to let you change the type of the column. Okay, so this is how we implement the typecasting in the copy activity. Okay, so if it is in a data flow, right, it's much more flexible. We have once we have this derived column transformation added, right, we can do whatever manipulation we want. But here with respect to copy activity, you have to make use of the mapping tab in order to make some changes to the data type, original data type. Okay, so if I say and run it again, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to copy the columns from the source file, and then it's going to add one more column and write it to the CSV file. Okay, so in case you have a destination as a SQL table, or for example Azure SQL table or any Oracle table, right, you have to map the columns manually. Okay, in table the column names will be different, right, something similar to the source serial number, source table, destination table, something will similar to source will be available in the destination table also. In that case you will have to map the columns if it's not already mapped correctly. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show in today's session. In last session we discussed how to log the error information to a CSV file, right? But while discussing that, I told you in next session we'll be seeing how to log error using copy activity itself. Okay, but before that I just wanted to touch upon this particular additional column implementation, so that this will be the base for the next session, which is nothing but error logging logging the error information using a copy activity and additional column. Okay, if you have any doubts about this particular session, you please let me know. In case you like my videos, you subscribe to my channel and refer to your friends also. Thanks a lot.